Bro, the reality is people work jobs, but actually, in fact, cannot afford even the products that they're selling. That's not crazy. It's not even a unique circumstance. There are people who work at Walmart, example, who cannot afford food in Walmart without any type of government assistance. So when I hear that people that work at CVS cannot afford the medicine, but no one can afford the medicine. I think that's the point here, unfortunately. You know, we live in a society where other countries completely take advantage of every single thing that's going on in the United States of America. You can look at Ozempic, for example. All right, look at Ozempic. Look at the price of Ozempic in the United States of America versus anywhere else in the world. Okay, we're talking about at least 900 times the price. All right. And I mentioned Ozempic because I'm fat, but that's not the point here. I mentioned Ozempic because I think that's something that a lot of people are talking about right now. Okay. And it's not even just that. Look at the parent company of Dodge, Mopar, Maserati, I think also, Fiat, example, Stellantis. Look at the prices of the products that they're attempting to push in the United States of America versus what they sell in the countries that they come from. Okay. Every single nation just basically wants to take advantage of every single thing that goes on in the United States of America because we are, in fact, rabid consumers. Okay. So, all right, let's go and check this video out immediately. This is a suggestion via Discord. Name of the video is, I work for CVS. I can't afford medication. And obviously, I didn't watch the video. But based off the title, again, it's not a regular, sadly. Right? But anyway, let's check it out. Let's see where this takes us, guys.
A lot of people have to go on Medi-Cal. A lot of people have to get insurance through the government. You're a healthcare company. You should be able to do something.
You own Aetna. You own Caremark. There's no way you can't tell me you cannot find a way to come up with a package for your employees.
CVS owns one of the largest health insurance companies in the country. But 64% of CVS workers in California don't have employer health insurance, according to a survey by their union local, the UFCW 770.
It's crazy enough that we're underpaid, but now you have to put a large portion of your pay towards your health care, where people now suddenly have to decide, do I want to have health care or do I want to put food on my kids' table?
CVS workers in Southern California went on strike on October 17th. After 6 months of negotiations, the union and CVS have reached a tentative agreement that would address many of the issues we heard about from workers. But CVS employees all across the country will continue to experience these issues and worse.
So here's my question here. Are these part-time workers or full-time? Now keep this in mind. There's a lot of gigantic corporations who completely take advantage of some of these things, right? Meaning that they will specifically not hire you for full-time work because if they do, they are responsible now for paying you, you know, a decent salary, let's say, and along with making sure they cover your health care, right? So a lot of these companies are, in fact, trying to not have to do that. So if you are a part-time worker, you're most likely not going to be covered by any type of insurance. Now, if CVS does, in fact, own Aetna, I didn't know that. If that's the case, oh no. Okay. I think that should probably be an employee perk, guys. Plurk. I think that definitely should be, if that's the case. Absolutely.
CVS has gotten cheaper and cheaper. All they've been interested in is just keeping their profits.
CVS made $8 billion in profit in 2023, yet many of its workers are on public assistance. Of the many issues at play, none is more painful or ironic than the unaffordable employee health insurance plan offered by CVS, the second biggest healthcare company in the world.
Do I have insurance through CVS? No, I don't. I have it through government assistance, which is Medi-Cal.
It sucks because it's basically, there's times when I know I'm sick and I know I need the medication, or I have an issue, I have a pain or something, I can go to the doctor and I can have that remedy fixed easily. But I can't do it because guess what? I don't have health insurance. Going to urgent care is going to cost me a couple $100s. Getting the medication is that's going to add on
couple
to the price.
$100.
The company has two separate and unequal health insurance plans.
You mean
a
thousands?
more affordable plan for A stores and a more expensive plan for B stores.
Okay.
What's the difference? Nothing really. Workers at stores CVS bought in 2007 to 8 are A stores. The ones that came later are the B stores.
Meaning that they basically just purchased up, most likely through some type of acquisition. Basically, these were old, like Rite Aids and Walgreens or Eckerd's or things like that, right? And then they just basically said, you know what, these are our real stores before we started doing this. These are our prime, right? Everything else, who cares? That's what it sounds like, at least.
We even asked them about it. It's like, can we, get the healthcare into one healthcare? And their response was, no, it's not reasonable. It can't happen.
Part of the problem workers face is CVS's dominance of the pharmacy market, which gives it power to push poverty wages, skeleton staffing, and unsafe conditions at retail pharmacy stores. Even as it closes stores itself, its sheer size allows it to dominate.
It's not about what's best for the community. It's not about what's best for the workers. Okay. It's about corner the market. It's basically killing competition.
Right. Industry-wide, an estimated 7,000 pharmacies have already shuttered in the last 5 years. Walgreens just this week announced 1,200 of its remaining stores could soon close.
And I'm guessing CVS will buy those up and then turn them into B stores, yes?
And Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy last year.
You have basically a few mom and pop pharmacies, and the sad thing is they bought a lot of those out. They bought up so much stuff just to basically take away all the competition they could.
It's unfortunate when these pharmacies close because these customers have to go, to the next store over. And what ends up happening is these customers spread to the nearest stores, and then the workload increases.
So in pharmacy, it's always
we're going to have an interesting conversation after this here.
Basically.
We're working with one hand behind our back, and CVS is basically trying to see how many people they can actually cut down to make the most profit. They profess how much they care about the patients, but they don't give us the time to actually give the patients the care that they actually need.
Okay.
The issue plagues front of store staff too.
Being understaffed frustrates a lot of the customers. They would prefer to come in, get their stuff, and get out. However, so many things have been locked up due to theft that customers are forced to wait for somebody to come along with the key to help unlock that product. But there's not enough people in the front store working.
That's actually not an uncommon thing with a lot of stores, not just CVS. So for example, I love Best Buy a lot. Okay, I'm there pretty much often, right? Trying to build out things all day long, let's say. And I would prefer not to go into Best Buy at all and just basically get things on Amazon nowadays, right? Because I refuse absolutely to walk into a place, not in the area that I'm in pretty much any longer, right? But before I moved into this new studio, the area that I was in always had things locked up. And now where I'm at now, nothing is ever locked up. That's not the case anymore. But the point is that there are things that are like almost always like locked up these days, and you have to wait for someone to come and help you. And it's just like, bro, you're kind of ruining the in-person, shopping experience, guys. It's becoming terrible.
Safety is a big concern as well.
People who come to the store to steal, if they are called out on it, they will go violent. I've seen my coworkers be shoved. I've seen my coworkers be almost punched in the face. Okay. It's ridiculous. I don't ever feel safe at work. I've never felt safe at work.
My particular store has been robbed 3 times in the pharmacy. The first time I was there, they were remodeling and my store was robbed and I was held at gunpoint. I mean, I'm not completely 100%. I'm never going to be the same because of that happening, you know?
I mean, listen, that is absolutely terrible, completely. Like, no one wants to work a job that they feel that they can lose their life in. I get it. But it's the same thing that whenever people speak about, like, policing and things like that, you're choosing this job. Like, you're choosing it. I understand this may be, like, the only thing. Maybe it's just time to look and try something different. Like, a lot of what this guy here is saying, where is he at? This guy right here. A lot of what he's saying is, like, I'll never actually be a business owner, or I'll never try to attempt to do something that can actually change things. But instead, I'm going to sit here and just complain about things. But let's continue. We're going to interesting conversation when we're done here, guys.
Full long weekend on strike forced CVS's hand.
I'm, just your basic, average, everyday, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, ho-hum fella who just happens to work for CVS, be a member of a union, and live in one of the most expensive cities and be living under $30,000 a year. Okay. I think if I were even earning slightly more than that, right, I would have a bit more pep in my step when it comes to both workplace and life.
So you can't move, bro?
Willing to fight for safety. We're willing to fight for a livable wage. We're willing to fight for what we need in order to survive, you know?
Okay. I think that's it there, guys. I mean, okay. I never understood this thing, okay? Like, if you're working at a job and you think this job, well, firstly, bro, corporations and businesses are not people. They have no feelings. They're there exclusively to exist for profit. That's what it is. I think the best way for every single person that is slightly concerned about the job that they're currently in, paying terribly, is to most likely find a way to make yourself marketable. Find a way. Like, you have to do this on yourself, and don't expect these entities that you're working. Like, there's no more loyalty in business. At one time, people would be like, listen, I'm just going to work for this company for the next 20 years and then retire. Please don't think that's a thing anymore. All right. Like, at all times, you have to be ready for these terrible things to happen in your life. You have to be. You have to be ready to pivot almost immediately with whatever you're doing in your life. You have to pivot. If you don't pivot, you're going to get stuck. Right? You're gonna get stuck doing what these individuals doing outside of CVS, bro. If they're not paying you enough, like, for example, a guy, I live in the most expensive city in the world, okay, and I'm making less than $30,000, okay. Why are you still living there? Is it because it's hard? Right? It's hard for you to exist somewhere else. Like, there are many places in the United States of America where $30,000 actually can do something for you. It can. You just choose not to live in these locations. Like, if you are struggling in a place like this, that should tell you probably shouldn't be in a place like this. Okay? That's my thoughts, guys. It may sound crazy. It may sound radical. I hear it often. You're a radical. Listen. If something isn't working, why are you sitting there in it and complaining about it? It's not working. Like, they're not going to raise your wage to a point where you find it acceptable. Right? CVS is traded publicly. No chance. Okay? Like, if a company that is traded privately or not traded at all, it's a private company. You may have a better chance of doing something there. Okay? But you are now in a gigantic corporation, and you're expecting it legitimately to bow down to your desires. They will replace you. They will. Again, no loyalty. It may be time. Okay? For you maybe to set up one of these mom and pop pharmacies. Right? Are you going to be competitive? No. And then you're going to instantly find out the things that you are hoping for are not actually plausible. I'm just going to be honest. Not in business. Guys, I run a corporation. I'm just being honest here. It is not as easy as you perceive. Like, you like days off? I don't have no days off, bro. I do not have days off. I work every single day in some aspect of this corporation. I'm telling you. There are no days off. You like free time spending it with your family? Okay. I mean, you can. Just keep that in mind. You got to balance, you working versus you not making any money because you're choosing not to actually work. Right? I mean, and I think that's kind of the element that I think a lot of these individuals need to kind of experience. They need to experience attempting to run a business on their own, and then they will instantly understand how their demands, let's say, are not reasonable sometimes. But in this specific instance, if CVS owns Aetna, then I think, come on, bro, that's a bit wild. Okay, that's a wild one. Like, that's a complaint. That's a serious one. They should at least have some type of employee program, and that would honestly, by itself, slow down any type of turnaround that they actually have. Like, if you offer it to the full-time employees, for even like a super mega discounted rate because you own the literal company. I mean, obviously you want to maintain, the profitability in that avenue, let's say. But you should be trying to do something that can actually benefit the actual employees. Just a thought here, guys. I mean, that's just a reality coming from, again, running a business, then onto running a corporation for the last, 15 years. you guys have to understand, like it's nearly impossible to do what some people are asking. It's nearly impossible. Like, you want the company to exist still, all right? Because if there's no profit in a specific location, and this location is now protesting that they're not getting like enough hourly wage, what exactly could we do about that? The location that you're in is just not profitable. We're suffering through some type of shrinkage. There's constant theft. We now have to pay for security to be here. Like, just be fully aware. We may just have to close that location down. What happens to the people there? It's not about the people. It's about the profit. And I think that's what people are absolutely confused about here. We're not like in a centralized government. This isn't communism, bros. Right? If there's no profit in a location, they're going to leave. They're going to shut down or go bankrupt. And they're not going to lose money consistently. Right? It's like the argument that some people have about Chicago, the south side of Chicago being multiple types of desert. It's a singular argument here. This area is a desert. It doesn't have, food security or any type of, like, a pharmacy. So a Walmart there would be the pharmacy and the food security. But people are going in there and constantly stealing from it, causing shrinkage. Do you think if you owned that store, but yet you owned multiple other stores, and you realize this location is constantly suffering through some type of theft, but we are the only pharmacy within 20 minutes. I'm closing that pharmacy, bro. Like, I'm sorry. You want me to pay for this? Right? Like, so once it starts going negative in profit, that location has to close, bro. Completely. But, feelings. Okay? But all right, guys, listen. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I do think that because, let me just summarize it here. I do think that because CVS owns Aetna, they should be trying to do something for the full-time employees exclusively. Okay, I do think that at the very least that should be done. And if the part-time employees want to actually get onto the program, there should be something that is very heavily discounted. So there is still money coming into that specific thing because they will be utilizing their health insurance. So in return, I think that should be something. But that's my only gripe. If you are literally at a job and you're saying the job isn't paying enough, then maybe it's time to find another job. If you're saying, I live in the most expensive area, do you think that these locations are going to pay you the most expensive wages, bro? Are you crazy? You're crazy. It's time to leave, bro. There's so many other places you can go. But let me guess. You'll be bored and it's not cool to you. We got to get past that, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.